How's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again with another view from the van. Of course I'm hard at graft, and although some things never change in me being hard at graft, yeah, some things do change, and something certainly did change a year ago as the consortium led by the PIF from Saudi Arabia came in to save us from the tyranny, from the tedious existence and hand-to-mouth existence of having Mike Ashley as the owner of Newcastle United. Yes, they came to save us on this day 1 year ago. And, you know, like I say, originally being from the area, now sort of living a little bit further away, still obviously making the journey up there for every home game. Oh, I remember every moment of the day. Now the missus wouldn't normally be so supportive of me taking over the TV, having the laptop, the iPad, the phone on the go, everything all at the same time. But I vividly remember a year ago as the announcement was made by Sky Sports at tea time, that the official word that came from the Premier League that the deal had been done and sealed, and we were under new ownership. I very much remember sitting there with the TV on. I was almost close to fucking tears. I think she could sense how just emotional and how much of a big deal that it actually meant, you know, to us, because I'd seen something that I deeply, deeply care and I'm passionate about for years and years and years, be crumbled away, to be undermined, to be taken the piss out of. So she could see how much the moment and that change of ownership meant. And the missus was like, we'll jump in the car and we'll go up. She said there's bound to be you know, like a party atmosphere and stuff up at St James's and everything. We'll jump in the car, we'll go straight up, you know, and stay up overnight. And you know, it was such a seismic moment. It was an emotional moment. I've always said, from being a kid at school, I've always wanted to see one thing, and that is Newcastle United pick up a trophy. Now we've been close on I don't know how many occasions to me seeing that first trophy in my lifetime for Newcastle, but that felt like lifting a trophy, getting rid of that man, and to see the scenes outside of St James's Park, to get the sense of atmosphere and the enormity of what had just happened was unbelievable. And you know, there aren't scenes like that when some teams win Premier Leagues and stuff. If you think about Manchester City recently, when they've been winning everything day in, day out. Apologies about the light. You know, next to no celebration. This was a celebration not for winning the cup, not for success, not for a league title or anything else like that. This was just for getting rid of one man, for defeating one man. To listen and to Kevin Keegan's words about getting our club back and it'll be everything that you want it to be. That's all the people that were driven away from the football club by this man. That's 10,000 empty seats in St James's Park filling back up. That's hope, that's optimism, that's everything like that flooding back. And yeah, it was a truly special moment. And that day, hour by hour, as I kept refreshing for news, looking at news, talking to people, phoning people, I can remember it all so importantly. It was one of the single most important things that I've witnessed, and I'm so desperate to see Newcastle win something in my lifetime. But to see that, like I say, it was absolutely and utterly undescribable. And you know, we boycotted all of his shops, all of his products, this, that and the other, and I was adamant for the rest of the family, the wife, the kids, look, oh, can I have something from Game, can I have something from sponsor? Like, no, not a chance. We're not giving that man a penny more than, you know, than what we have to give through necessity. And you know, little things like that, it has a huge effect, not only on me being a Man Newcastle United supporter, but the rest of your family, loved ones, nearest and dearest and stuff like that. And yeah, the entire weight of just getting that situation lifted off your shoulders, the battle and the protests, the boycott Arsenal, the protests outside the Sports Direct shops, go to the match, not buying any sort of merchandise, no programmes, nothing at half time. trying every which way possible to get rid of this absolute lech. And finally, that moment of fucking release was just unbelievable. And you knew then that there was a bright future. You knew that if PIF and Amanda and the Rubens and everybody, if they had stuck by, if they had taken over 2 years and have gone through all sorts of legal court cases and battles and everything else to get the club, you knew that they were desperate to do something special. They weren't there just to sort of have us as a mid-table club or a yo-yo club, or, you know, just to asset, you know, strip, because literally Ashley did all of that, left us to the bare bones, no meat on the bones whatsoever. And what's happened over this past year is the beginning of the rebuild of the club and the rebirth of the club. And it probably came at a great time for me, because obviously moving further away, because obviously the wife's not from Newcastle, so moving further away, when you're doing a 250-mile round trip and it's Mike Ashley's Newcastle United, you're just sitting there thinking, what's the point? It's for routine, it's catching up with friends and seeing people, and it's the social aspect of it that sort of kept you going, and not the football or anything else like that. To finally know that there'll be football and reasons, and there was some optimism, and there was going to be changes in management, because obviously I was set against Steve Bruce and his ways and his fucking cabbage-heated football and everything else. I knew there'd be changes there. I knew there'd be changes to the squad. They would be looking to improve the squad, improve the quality. I knew all of that was coming. But I knew the 250-mile round trips for a home game, I knew the long away trips to far-flung corners of the country would once again actually mean something, because we would be building back. I knew that we'd get hope. And that's all, as a Newcastle United fan, that you really, really want, is a little bit of hope and a little bit of optimism and something to sort of grab and get your teeth into. And what we have seen over this past year, you know, with the return of those missing 10,000 fans who, you know, made the difficult decision to step back and step away, from seeing the likes of War Flags come back, what a fucking difference that has made to the atmosphere. And you see everybody else in the league nowadays trying to copy it, pathetically so. Even down the road, down the A19 in the Championship, they're trying to copy what we're doing at St James's Park through War Flags. And yeah, they're just failing absolutely miserably. But yeah, the atmosphere inside the stadiums, the hunger, the energy, you know, it's just literally flipped from a sort of cauldron of negativity into such positivity and hope, and everybody truly being Newcastle United, and the United word being the underlined word, the capital word. To see the fans and the players and the coaches and the ownership, the custodians of the club, everybody singing from the hymn sheet, to see commercial departments that have only had 3 and 4 people operating them, compared to hundreds of opposition clubs from elsewhere in the Premier League, finally getting some TLC to try and get some more money in so that we can grow the club. To see the likes of Dan Ashworth come in, real football people who know what they're doing and know how to be successful. We've then poached you know, corporate people from all over the place, sports science, to see the training ground finally move away a little bit from being like an OAP retirement village into looking something like a Premier League training ground, getting the facelift, getting the extra facilities, all the while whilst they're looking for new training ground facilities. To see some, you know, fantastic spending. Our net spend under Ashley was no more than a couple of million per season. It averages out at, which again for a club our size is unbelievable. Where did all the cash go? Where did all the cash go? Probably down the fucking trouser pocket of Lee Charney, who also departed and was, yeah, a very welcome departure from St James's Park. The man who had to wear slip-on shoes because the bastard couldn't tie fucking laces. Yeah, how's Nottingham Forest doing, by the way? Fucking hell. So there's been so many changes. Look at the spend on players, the likes of Isaac, and smashing, you know, club transfer records, not once but twice. It's unbelievable. Getting somebody in who's got a vision and ethos of how he wants to play football at all levels. somebody meticulous to details. Eddie Howe, after getting rid of Cabbage Eat, Steve Bruce, after watching all that Bruce ball, fuck me, I honestly don't think I would have renewed if we'd have had more Bruce ball and more Ashley, because I was just at the end of my fucking tether. It gets you so down. It does. The results and the performances and what the club is doing affects your mood so fucking much. But it's totally the opposite now. This past year, obviously I speak to football fans from different clubs all over down here, and you know, the pride talking about our club and the project and the players that we're bringing in, is just absolutely fantastic, and they're doing it the right way as well, and I think that's critical. I think a lot of people thought it would be a Chelsea or a Manchester City job, but you know, the rules, the goalposts have been moved to try and stop that. But what they are doing, and they've got pretty much 99.9% of things right since they moved in, is doing it slowly. They're looking at the right characters and the building, and they're slowly stripping away the dead wood and moving players on and bringing players in and spending sizable chunks of money on the next generation. They've come out, they've been honest, they've said we can't sign the Messis of the world. Not that I particularly want to be honest. Brilliant player, but you can't just sign names. We've been down that avenue before. It's all about the next generation. It's trying to sign the next Messi. I don't know. You know, signing Sven Botman, trying to sign the next Van Dijk. You know what I mean? It's those sorts of sensible signings. The cash being there when it needs to be there, but running it at the same time sensibly with football people in charge. It might seem a small thing. It might seem a very small thing when you know, if you talk to some other football clubs fans about corporate appointments, or about, I don't know, giving the stadium roof a wash, painting a wall outside of St James's Park, relocating a Shiva statue. These may seem like small things and unimportant to some other clubs. If you said that to a Manchester City fan, oh, have you had your stadium cleaned recently? And they look at paint, yeah. We haven't had that for so long that when it happens, you know, it goes viral. It goes all over the shop. Even like Sports Direct signs coming down, advertising hoardings coming down, changing advertising hoardings is Geordie #1 news when it happens. So we appreciate the small things that have been done just as much as the signing of you know, Isaac for a huge astronomical, you know, wedge of cash. So, and I think on top of that, to see a human side from the custodians of the football club, I think is also really important. We want somebody in charge of the club, somebody looking after the club, who we know and we get that cares about the club as much as what we do. And I think in Stavely and everybody else in the consortium, we have got that, you know. And it's just amazing. It is like a lottery win. Prior to the Premier League's owners and directors test going through, it felt like we'd won the lottery, but we couldn't cash the bastard ticket. But finally, 1 year ago today, that ticket cashed out, and it cashed out in the most spectacular way. You know, they turned down having shares in Manchester United, Chelsea, and so on and so forth, according to reports in the press, because they wanted Newcastle. They've said that they could have gone out and they could have easily bought the entire lot, but they wanted Amanda Stavely, they wanted the Reuben brothers involved in the project, because they wanted their expertise, their passion, their knowledge to be you know, kept in and harnessed. And boy, has it been needed, because when they first come in, they were coming into a club on its fucking knees, with a skeleton staff, and they've had to double up and triple up in jobs and responsibilities. And Eddie Howe's done like, as an example, a manager's job, a director of football's job, a technical director's job. He's done all sorts, and it's needed special people and special characters to be able to get out of the situation, remembering that when they came in, we were balls deep in relegation, balls deep in it. So even to stay up shows that miracles can happen, because it was almost certain nobody else had survived from the position that we had been in, yet we became the first. Just like back in the days when we were fighting towards the top of the league and in the Champions League, going on that run after losing the first couple of games, being the first team to qualify out of the Champions League group after losing the first couple of games, all that sort of stuff. That's a different type of pressure, but when the pressure's on like new owners, it's going to be so embarrassing if we go down. It's going to be so difficult if we go down. It's going to hold the project back by years if we go down. We had to produce wins, produce good football, and we had to do it with a lot of players still left over from the championship days, with the old mantra of it's easier to keep players we've already got than to go out and to recruit new players. So a massive credit goes out to the team, to the lads, again to the coaches, the management and the ownership, and just putting it all together to be able to get the results that we needed. And in the end, we survived at an absolute canter, an absolute ease. And it's like, well, what's all the worry about? But honestly, I think most sane people would have said that we were more likely to go down than we were to stay up. And everybody had the two pennyworths on the takeover. Everybody tried to take the piss, take advantage, and knock us whilst we were down. And it tastes, even again, comes back to that moment, it tastes all so sweet when it comes off, when it comes through, and we prove these bastards wrong for their assertions. The likes of your Tim Sherwoods of the world, your Robbie Savages of the world, your Simon Jordans of the world are proven wrong. It feels so fucking great and it feels so good. And it means now, of course, after all the battles with Ashley, that we can focus our energy on supporting the lads, supporting the team, enjoying the football, and not have to worry about politics and corporate shit and all that sort of going on with the club. We have custodians in the club now who truly do care about the future direction of the football club. I'm 100% sure on that. And I think the future is really bright and positive. We will continue, I think, the policy of signing good young up and coming players, improving the team, and as the seasons go by, improving the quality of the squad, so that when we've got injuries like what we've had at the beginning of the season, we've got quality reinforcements to be able to come in. And the future can include, taking the cup seriously, which we never did under Ashley at all, and becoming winners, serial winners, serial contenders for competitions and stuff. And we can become an alternative to the Manchester City domination. We can be an alternative in the cups and get back to European days and European nights and European journeys and all that good, exciting stuff that the club should always been about. No longer shall we, or do we need to, courtesy of what happened a year ago, need to look downwards. Even now in a transition process, we are looking upwards with renewed confidence and vigour and determination, and everybody is together. Seeing the owners mingling at the women's games and talking to fans outside the stadium. For all Mike Ashley supposedly is this clever businessman, he was never able to tap into or see the common sense approach of engaging the fan base and getting it on side and producing that way. But we don't have to worry now. What happened a year ago was our lottery win. This season the football has been so much better, even if some of the results, a few draws when maybe we should have had wins and stuff like that. But the football is 2 billion% better. We've got a man in Eddie Howe who knows what's what and is bought into the project. And even if he was given the opportunity for England in the summer, or even after this World Cup or whatever, I don't think he'd honestly take up the opportunity, despite being a proud Englishman, because he's invested, he's bought into the project at Newcastle United. And it all started from that year ago, in the scenes and the noise and the passion and the outpour, that one man had been defeated. Newcastle, as Kevin Keegan said, we will get Newcastle back. the club will come back to the fans, and we have got that, and it's words really struggle to quantify what happened last year. But I would just say that I would personally like to thank the Saudi PIF, the Rubens and Amanda Staveley and her husband, for everything that they have done for the football club. They have resuscitated it. And to be fair, I said before, we were on our knees. We probably were lower down than that. We were on the life support machine just to get ready for somebody to flick the switch off. We were getting ready to become maybe the next Leeds and slip down the league and go into sort of obliteration. And they came in and they stuck with us, and they fought legal cases, and they settled rifts that they'd had with other countries and legal issues, and they moved heaven and earth to be able to persevere and to get this deal over the line. They had to fight corruption from the greedy six. They had to fight corruption from the fucking dickmaster in charge of the Premier League. They went through all of those hoops, and they came out at the end, and they stuck by us, and we will stick by them. There's no doubt about it. Just like there's no doubt that there will be better times ahead for this football club. We've suffered enough. We've paid our dues with a loyalist fan base, in my opinion, about simple as. Not many other fan bases would have took the level of stress and everything else that went on with a Mike Ashley ownership. No doubt about it in my head. None. So, we deserve everything that's going to be coming to us. There's no doubt about it. And I just can't wait to see the next chapter and the next chapter after that, and transfer windows, going into them with, again, that word hope. Going into them, before it would have been a case of, can we scrape enough together for a loan? No, we can't afford Chowdhury under the previous ownership. Now you're seeing some of the names, and you literally are. It's just like the good old days when we were linked, when we were shopping at the higher end of the spectrum. We once again are doing that, and it's obviously it's a different brand of football to the entertainers and stuff, but the rebirth of the club is just the same, and we are on the rise, we are on the up. So yeah, thank you to everybody who made that happen. Thank you to the people who went down and handed in petitions down in London that tried to get answers from Dick Master down at the Premier League. I mean, Holly and what she did on that was absolutely fantastic. And it just goes to show it's a special club. It's more than just a football club, but you can't compare it to just another football club, a run-of-the-mill football club. It is a special place, and we have special times ahead of us, no doubt about it. So yeah, as we get to the first year anniversary, it's a thank you to everybody who helped to make it happen. It's again also, and I think it seems a perfect opportunity to thank everybody who supported Magpie 24/7. Over 64,000 followers now across all the different types of social media and stuff like that. So it's amazing. If you've got to the end of the video, please do hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. It does mean a lot. We are trying to push it. We would like to get it over 1,000. It's the sort of hardest. It's the hardest thing to do, but we're consistently putting stuff out, and we do it because we love the club. It's our passion. It's our hobby, and I know. It is a 24/7 job. We're on the constantly you're addicted to finding out more and more about the club, and it's great that you can find out more and more nowadays, and it's positive. It is positive all of the way. Gone are the days when it was sort of having to report on bad news or bad information or more shit from the ownership or from Lee Charnley and so on and so forth. It's now about positive things 99.9% of the time. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Well, I'm going to be finishing off working, and back home, a couple of cans. Probably watch the press conferences. I've seen them a few times back. They the stuff from Sky when it all went through and stuff like that. I've watched that back many of the times over the past year, and no doubt I'll stick them on the TV tonight. And might annoy the missus a little bit, but needs must in certain situations and all, most definitely. So yeah, enjoy if you can, celebrate it, and then we look towards this weekend's game against Brentford. There will be a separate preview coming up for that one, and yeah, no doubt there will be a party atmosphere on Tyneside as we mark it as an anniversary for this particular game. And if Newcastle get the win, that I think we all know that they are capable of, I think the league position will be looking rather healthy going into the next run of games. Newcastle could, obviously at the moment around 7th, but because the fixtures could be a couple of places higher, and given a couple of the frustrations earlier on the seasons, we draw in a few games when we definitely should have won, when we were screwed over on a couple of occasions. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Always looking up now, always thinking about a positive future for the football club. So in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned. I want to finish and have a few cans and enjoy the night and celebrate the right way, and I'll speak to you later.